Woo! Welcome into This Is the Shoot. As always, if you like the video, you like the content, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. That way you never miss out on these up-to-date videos. Now, weekends of return. What a time to be wrestling fans. You know what I mean? You get live fans back. People are coming back. I'm not talking about Goldberg, even though I have much respect for Goldberg. This weekend was a weekend of nothing but returns. CM Punk kicked it off on Rampage. Becky Lynch came back in the middle of SummerSlam. Brock Lesner is now back inside the WWE. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, CM Punk kicked it off. AEW kicked it off with a weekend of returns, and they made the right choice when they decided to do it. It was in Chicago. Rumors for months that CM Punk was in talks or at least had signed with AEW. Now we know it's true. And when Rampage kicked off Friday night, I thought to myself, the way the fans were reacting, they was chanting his name, it's in his hometown. Kick it off with CM Punk if the rumors are true. That way you don't take the air out the room for the guys and the gals that was going to be performing that night. And they did just that. They let CM Punk come out first. They let him say what he needed to say, what he wanted to say. You know, it took a good 20 minutes out of an hour show. So, you know, and he challenged Darby Allin for this Wednesday night on Dynamite. You know, I'm telling you, it was a special moment. And if you missed it, I watched it live. I had to watch it live. I couldn't miss that. Had to watch it live. With Becky Lynch and Brock Lesnar coming back, the question was, who, in honor of the New Day, was the best return? Now, instinctively, you're going to say CM Punk, of course. I had to take it a little bit step further. I had to take in, I took in wrote down a couple things of what I was looking for, what I'm judging this off of. And this is all my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. You know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. If you're a huge CM Punk fan, of course CM Punk. If you're a huge Lesnar fan, of course it's going to be Lesnar. Or a Becky Lynch fan, it's going to be Becky. But I broke it down like this. Category 1, who had the loudest pop? Who was the biggest surprise? And who's the most meaningful return? Who's going to have the most meaningful and the biggest impact? And this is all based on my opinion, what I heard, what I seen, how I felt when they returned, etc., etc., etc. The loudest pop. There's no denying it. I'm not even going to put it up for debate. CM Punk had the loudest pop. Man, fans were crying. I'm sure there was a noise complaint by one of the neighbors next to that stadium. Like, yeah, AEW having this event, you need to send the police in now. It's too loud. I can't get my sleep. It's 10 o'clock. I want to sleep. CM Punk came back and it was just... It was magical. I mean, that's the only word I can put. It was a magical return, not because it was CM Punk. It was the fans that made it so memorable. It was the fans and the reaction and the passion that made it so memorable. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care if you're a huge fan of wrestling, you're just now getting into wrestling, you've been a fan for a long time, the passion that wrestling fans have in general, especially when it comes to AEW. I gotta give it to the AEW fan base. And when I say fan base, I'm talking like the die-hard, watch nothing but AEW. Maybe they watch WWE, but you know what? The passion that AEW fans it's honorable. It's memorable. I want to experience it for myself. I want to go to an AEW event. But to me, that was not the biggest surprise, only because it was always rumored that he was going to be there. It's been rumored that he was going to be there. There was some pictures taken that fans took and posted it on the internet, on social media, kind of saying it. So you kind of knew. And, could you imagine what the pop would have been like if no one had knew? No rumors had broke. No sources have said, hey, this is what's happening. This is what could be a possibility. Could you only imagine? For me, the same goes for Becky. Even though WWE had said, hey, Becky's not going to come until after Extreme Rules, not sooner. you kind of sensed that it was coming. She's been posting pictures where she's at all these events, so you only knew it was a matter of time, but the rumors were circling around. The person that I didn't see coming back at SummerSlam since John Cena was there, and you already had Goldberg back, was Brock Lesnar. Now, Bully Ray was right on Busted Open. He said, everybody wanted Bobby versus Brock. But Bully said the storyline you could have with Brock versus Roman because of Paul Heyman. Not because of Roman Reigns. We've seen Roman versus Brock. Now, we've not seen this version of Roman versus Brock. But we've seen it. Lesnar returns at the end of the match when Roman Reigns is standing tall over John Cena. And Paul Heyman melts. It's like he's seen a ghost. You can hear him, "No, Brock, no. No, Brock, I'm sorry." He didn't know what to do. And Brock Lesnar's return with the new look. He's got the man bun going on. I'm not a man bun guy, but I'm not going to tell Brock Lesnar that. And we're getting to see a babyface Brock Lesnar by the looks of it. We don't see that very often. And it was just a surprise. I sat there when John Cena lost. I said, well, I guess our only hope is Brock to return. And I know more than said that. His music hits. And here he comes. And now they're in a bigger stadium than what they was at Chicago for AEW. But that pop was phenomenal. Because nobody's seen it coming. Nobody. There's not a person, not a rumor, not a source, not a dirt sheet. Not a single soul knew that Brock Lesnar was going to be there. Whew. And like I said, Paul Heyman is the real selling point on this. Just the way he reacted. Give the man his props. The best manager, maybe besides Bobby the Brain Heenan, to be inside a wrestling ring. That being said, who's the most meaningful? Who's going to have the biggest impact? Becky Lynch came out and beat Bianca Belair in one move, which was a real disappointment, and I don't understand why they did Bianca so dirty. The source is saying that Becky's going to turn heel, which, you know what? You're going to have to now. If you're going to have this story, because people's not going to like Becky. Whew! They ain't going to like Becky. But it's not the most meaningful, and I don't think it's the most impact. For the wrestling world, CM Punk's return is the most impactful. No one ever thought they'd see CM Punk back inside the ring again. For the longest time. For a couple reasons. WWE, Vince McMahon, Triple H, all left a very sour taste in CM Punk's mouth. So a lot of people didn't think, including myself. Now I'm going to tell you right now. I've never been the biggest CM Punk fan. I appreciate what he could do in the ring. I loved what he could do on the mic, but he's just not my character. He's not my cup of tea. As far as someone who I'm going to go out and buy a t-shirt of or go chant his name everywhere. That's how it is for me. So for the wrestling industry, for wrestling fans as a whole, CM Punk's the most impactful. For the WWE, Brock Lesnar. Has to be Brock Lesnar. Yes, I know Becky Lynch has been gone for a while, but Brock Lesnar has not been around for a year. A little over a year. His last match was at WrestleMania 36 in an empty arena when the COVID hit, losing it to Drew McIntyre. So him to come out, and the story that you know they're going to tell with Paul Heyman having to choose between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And if anybody can take out the head of the table, it's going to be Brock Lesnar. I don't know where they're going to go with this storyline, but I'm excited, I know that. And for storyline-wise, we don't know what they're going to do with CM Punk yet. I know he's challenging Darby Allin, but you don't know what storyline he's going to go down. You don't know what they're going to put him in at AEW. So once again, I'm going Brock Lesnar. All this being said, now I know y'all wondering, well, shoot, who's the winner here? It's simple, guys. We are. If you're a diehard wrestling fan and you love wrestling, I don't care if you're an AEW diehard. I don't care if you're a WWE diehard. I don't care if you like both. We're the winners. We're the winners at the end of the day. Take names out of it. Take everything away from it. Take yourself out of the moment. Look at the bigger picture. The WWE fans, the AEW fans, wrestling fans, we are the winners of this weekend. Hands down. I don't care if you don't like WWE, and I don't care if you don't like AEW. You got to sit back and you got to appreciate what's happening inside the wrestling world right now. You got to look at that big picture. What's going on? Wow, all these old guys are coming back and taking the spots of the young guys. Well, then it's up for the young talent, the younger guys, to assert themselves into the big picture. It's that simple. Insert yourself into that big picture. Don't sit back and complain. Don't get on social media and run your mouth. Get in now. Get in Vince's ear. Get in Tony Khan's ear and say, I need to be in this position. Here's why. Here's my story. Here's why I think this will work. Yada, yada. You need to assert yourself, young guys. Pure and simple. You cannot get mad at the writers when they're going back to old reliable. Brock Lesnar's a draw. He's going to move the needle. CM Punk's going to move the needle. Hey, Friday speaks for itself. I don't need to sit back and defend these guys. You guys know when you hear Lesnar, you hear Punk, you hear Lynch. They move the needle. Instantly, when someone mentions Brock Lesnar, your ears perk up. Or CM Punk, your ears perk up. You just got to eavesdrop into it. You just got to sit back and listen. For me, I had to choose between Brock Lesnar or CM Punk. And for me, like I said, I've never been a huge CM Punk fan. So for me, my personal opinion, Brock Lesnar wins the weekend. And I know it's going to vary for everybody. I'm not saying if you think CM Punk won the weekend, you're wrong, because you're not. It's on personal preference. Who is you most excited to see? That all being said, thanks for tuning in. Leave your comments down below. Hit that like, hit the subscribe button. Who was you most excited to see? What was your favorite match of SummerSlam? What was your favorite match of Rampage? What are you looking forward to when it comes to CM Punk? I'm going to be breaking down CM Punk's return in another video where I'm going to be talking all about CM Punk. My concerns, my excitement, etc., etc. And I'll see you guys later.